A big factor in elderly gay folk is loneliness and isolation.
I'm a member of Opening Door London. I think I've started about 3 years ago.
I'd been a volunteer with Opening Doors since they first opened, and obviously a user of their service as well. So I welcomed it with open arms, because here was a first organisation that was focusing just on older LGBT people.
Because I'd become a little bit isolated.
Because a lot of people are on their own. They lost their partner, they're timid, they're lonely. We're all in the same boat.
It's been very, very inspiring. And I've made some good friends. We phone each other nearly every day. There's a network that's been created and we're very supportive.
A blessing. A blessing. They are a blessing for the likes of me.
It offers lots of social opportunities for people who wouldn't normally have those opportunities.
We get together and sometimes do quizzes, also get together and have a meal. My father was worried about me being lonely as an older gay man, but there's a whole big family out there. And Opening Doors, if you needed a replacement, there it is.
The frailer we get, the more scared we can get, and I think there's still a tremendous amount of work to be done in the care systems.
It's a wonderful organisation, and I think it should be, it should be supported as much as it can be.
If I needed to describe Opening Doors with just one word, I would say it's a lifeline.
Where our main thing is to tackle loneliness and isolation. So come along and join our gang, and you'll be all very welcome.
Hi, I'm Megan and I run the telefriending service at Opening Doors London. I hope you're all having a great day. I would just wanted to let you know about the service because if you're over 50 and identify as LGBT+, then we'd love to match you with a volunteer for a positive conversation each week. Our volunteers are all trained and are excited to speak with you. And they are also able to help signpost you to other services and help connect you with the wider LGBT+ community. So if you would benefit from speaking to somebody each week, as we all would, then please get in touch. Either call 020 7239 0400 or go on our website www.openingdoorslondon.org.uk. We can't wait to hear from you. Thank you.
I believe, as a Black African gay man and a Christian theologian, that God loves everyone just the way they are. Growing up as a young person, as a Black African Nigerian, I think that the word gay did not feature in our vocabulary. The word homosexuality does not exist at all in our language. I think around about age 6, 7, I was quite clear. I just knew that I had a desire to be with someone of my own gender. My family was a Christian family, quite conservative. We go to church almost every day. At age 13, because I was so involved in church, studying my Bible, I discovered the text in the Bible in Leviticus 18 verse 20 and 20 verse 13 that says in black and white that if a man have sex with another man is an abomination and they shall be put to death. I've always felt from that moment that God don't love me and that I was an abuse, I was an abomination to God. When you've been called an abomination, when you've been told that you are a disgrace, when you've been told that being gay is bringing your family name to disrepute, you find yourself in a very lonely place. I have had suicidal thoughts many times. I have even tried to take my own life because I felt it's not worth it. I would have avoided all of this pain only if I knew where to find the best support for a young teenager who is, having a conflict around their sexuality, if I had someone to talk to. I was excommunicated primarily, and when I started to go back to church in '96, I started to think, can there ever be a church where gay people can go to? And that's part of the reason that I actually started House of Rainbow, so that there is a place where people can come to for an explanation. In August of 2006, we were ready to start House of Rainbow. The following month in September, we started with an opening service with about 32 people in attendance. So first day wasn't bad at all, and in subsequent weeks the number started growing. By December of 2006, I was introduced to journalists in Nigeria and journalists from the US visiting Nigeria, about a gay man has come to start a gay church in Nigeria. And of course, once the media started to write about it, it meant that the Nigerian society and the Nigerian government became a little bit more alert about what was going on. So I was one of the most hated person in Nigeria because of my stand to include LGBT people in the work that we do. And unfortunately, by the time we got to September of 2008, the intensity against our organization and myself is becoming quite violent. My home was vandalized. I was attacked in the street. Members of our communities were attacked. Many were fired from their jobs, expelled from their homes, rejected by their family. It got really so bad. They had to get me out of the country because it got really bad. In 2010, I made a conscious decision that we need to restart the organization. So we restarted the organization in London. And since then, we've not looked back. There is a time in life where we were told who we are, and that's not who we are. But when you realize who you are, then you need to turn around and say, this is who I am. There is another scripture in the Bible that I love so much. It's in Romans. Those who were not loved shall be called beloved. So I say to people within the LGBT community that we are beloved because we are children of the living God. And I would say to people, particularly to the LGBT community, our parents, our friends and allies, don't listen to all the things that the pastor says in their sermon, in their churches against the LGBT community. You need to listen to yourself and listen to what God is saying to you. The same Bible that is used to condemn homosexuality is also the same Bible that we're using to celebrate homosexuality, because God loves us just the way we are. Okay, paint me.
Hi everybody at Switchboard's Virtual Digital Pride in 2020. Hope you're all having a really nice weekend. My name is Monty Moncrief and I am the Chief Executive of London Friend. We've long been a partner of Switchboard. We're slightly older than you, just edging you there. 1972 we've been around compared to your 1974, but we've been partners for all of that time. We are a health and wellbeing charity, and we work face-to-face mainly with people. Obviously, that's changed a little bit during the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown. But we are a service that aims to improve the health and wellbeing of our clients across a range of different services. So we have some groups, we have some counselling, we do a drug and alcohol service, we work in domestic abuse, and we also work in sexual health. I've got three of the team with me here today to talk about what we do. So Tony Hogg is our Antidote Service Manager. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Debbie Gray is our Counselling Service Manager. Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
Hi, and Jay is our Domestic Abuse Counsellor. Hi.
Hi, hello.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So as I said, we've been around since 1972. We were formed very much like Switchboard was by LGBT people wanting to come together to provide services and support to members of their own community where that was lacking in mainstream services. Debbie, I'm going to start with you actually, because the counselling service has been a mainstay of London Friend for many years. It's been one of our sort of backbone services, if you like. So could you just tell us a little bit about the counselling service and how it works?
Yeah, sure. We offer 12 sessions of counselling to people who self-refer to us, and the subject matter that the clients bring is, you know, as diverse as the clients themselves. So we cover all kinds of issues, from people who may be coming out or have got relationship issues, or family issues, drug and alcohol issues. I mean, absolutely anything. If somebody from the LGBT community wants to come and bring anything at all, then we'll work with that.
And it doesn't have to be LGBT specific issues. It could be other things that are going on in their life which aren't necessarily related to them being LGBT, but they want to work in an LGBT inclusive and affirmative environment.
Absolutely. I mean, people bring all kinds of issues. If you could imagine it, somebody's probably come along with that issue. So yeah, absolutely any issues at all.
And we know that LGBT people are experiencing disproportionate levels of mental health within our community, and levels of anxiety or higher stress, often due to the discrimination or the harassment that we can face in society. During lockdown, that appears to have exacerbated for people as well.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And I think for people who've been particularly isolated or struggling with all kinds of issues, maybe to do with their health or relationships, that's been really difficult. So we have seen an increase, a huge increase in people coming along for our support, and also in the different kind of mental health presentations or diagnoses that they have. There's been an increase in people who've maybe had long-term mental health issues, which does suggest that maybe they're not getting help elsewhere, and people may have kind of fallen through the cracks of other services and are coming along to see us.
Yeah, there's a lot of picking up the pieces that happens in LGBT organisations where people don't fit into mainstream services, or their services just don't cater for their needs at all. So we've developed some new services that we're providing as a result of lockdown and the result of the pandemic. We have some one-to-one and some group mental health support. And that's really helping people to deal with the issues that are coming up with them here and now as a result of lockdown and as a result of the pandemic. So people can apply for those online, and they're 6 sessions of one-to-one or 4-session group program, and they're all free. And you can find the details on our website, londonfriends.org.uk. I'm going to come to Jay now as well. Jay is our domestic abuse counsellor. Now, we work with Switchboard as a partner in the London LGBT Domestic Abuse Partnership, which is led by Gallup and also includes Stonewall Housing. It's a partnership approach to provide a range of support around domestic abuse, some practical support and casework support from the other partners, telephone access to support as well through Switchboard and through Gallup's national domestic abuse helpline. But we provide domestic abuse counselling and also workshops for clients. So, Jay, can you tell us a little bit about the counselling work that you do?
Yeah, sure. Well, similar to the service that Debbie described for the general counselling, the domestic abuse counselling service offers 12 sessions, and working with people that have experienced or ongoing experienced domestic abuse. And that can come in many shapes and forms, but a theme that I see quite often, not always, but quite often, is people that are still either caught up in the relationship or they're just sort of coming out of it. Sometimes it's historical. It can be, sort of abuse they've experienced when they were younger in family situations. But when it's in intimate relationships, going back to, as I was saying, a theme that can come up is people really struggling with wanting to leave or move on from their experience in the relationship, but it's very complex, and sometimes they still have very strong feelings for that person. And, they're getting friends and family sometimes saying, why don't you leave? Why do you want to go back? And can't understand, that it's not always that simple. So, yeah.
And during lockdown as well, we know that domestic abuse incidents have risen as well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's generally a busy service anyway, but yeah, it has become even busier. And, I'm getting clients, which has always been the case, that they can self-refer, go on to the London Friend website, and there's the information how they can self-refer, but also getting referred through Gallup and also other organisations. But yeah, it's definitely become busier because of the intensity of the situation with lockdown.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. The other main area that we work in is drugs and alcohol. So we run a service called Antidote. It's an LGBT drug and alcohol service, and it's been running since 2002. We've run it at Friends since 2011, and our Antidote manager, Tony Hogg, has been with us for all of that time. Tony, tell us a little bit about the Antidote service.
Well, the Antidote service is LGBT specific drug and alcohol service. We provide 2 weekly drop-ins where people can self-refer and come into that service for informal support. They can use either drop-in every week if they wish. We offer one-to-one support of 6 sessions with key workers. We've developed a lot of group programs as well, some of which obviously we can't run at the moment because they do need to be face-to-face. But we do have other groups running during this lockdown period that are really supporting clients, like for mental health, the lockdown group, Back on Track, to prevent people from relapsing. We have Sunday sessions. And we seem to be constantly evolving, looking at what the trends are within our community around drug and alcohol use and trying to respond to them really quickly with whatever one-to-one support we do or group work.
And that's something that we as a service were able to do quite well around chemsex, which is the use of drugs to facilitate and enhance sexual pleasure, mainly by gay and bisexual men. We saw a really distinct pattern of new drugs being used in new contexts around the late 2000s and early 2010s. And we were the first organisation to be responding to that by putting in programs. So some of the programs that Tony and their team have developed are looking at some of the very, very specific issues relating to chemsex. You mentioned relapse as well there. I think that's an important part of the role, and we've had a number of clients that said that they really feel at risk of relapse during lockdown. The anxiety has really increased, and the impact on people's well-being, and some of the progress that they've made has been quite difficult for them.
Yeah, I think one of the main reasons, particularly with chemsex, that people are looking for connection. They often feel isolated and lonely, or they feel it's difficult connecting with people without the use of drugs and alcohol or facilitating sex. So this lockdown and isolation period has been particularly difficult because it's just increased that sense of loneliness and isolation and lack of connection.
Yeah, when those are underlying issues that trigger people to use drugs or drink alcohol, the enhanced nature of that during lockdown can really exacerbate those issues. Under normal circumstances, we would also run a series of group programs from our building in King's Cross, looking at things like coming out support, trans and non-binary support, older people support, really just bringing people together and giving them the opportunity to have social contact with other LGBT people where they might feel isolated. We're unable to run some of those at the moment, although some are running online. We're hoping to get back to running our face-to-face groups as soon as possible, but obviously we need to do those in a COVID-19 safe way. You can check our website, londonfriend.org.uk, and at the top of every single page on the website is a link to our main update page showing what services are running during lockdown, what services are running which are impacted by the pandemic. We have many services running online, although that is the only way that we can deliver them at the moment. You can check out everything that's running, plus you can find links to other support there. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Thank you to the team for joining us today, and enjoy Switchboard's Pride. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Sat Sri Akal. Hello everyone.
We are Sarbat.
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 We are Sarbat, the biggest community and volunteer-led group addressing LGBTI+ issues from the perspective of the Sikh faith and culture.
We would like to thank Switchboard LGBT+ Helpline for giving us this opportunity to celebrate an online Pride, especially during this challenging time of the pandemic when we can't celebrate together in person.
At Sarbat, we began our journey in 2007, starting as a website for sharing articles and prompting discussions.
Since then, we have created opportunities for LGBTI+ Sikhs, their partners and allies to come together to learn, share experiences, and allow ourselves to be around people who accept us for who we are.
We've been able to reach out to people from North America, Europe, India, Thailand and New Zealand through our online socials that we have hosted over the spring and summer of 2020.
I think the way Sarbat has brought everybody together whilst we've all been in lockdown, I think that for me has been a real highlight, and it's been really cool actually to be part of that.
We offer opportunities to get together digitally through a variety of ways, including topical discussions, well-being, peer support groups, educational study groups and book clubs.
In addition to all these virtual opportunities, we also hosted in-person meetups in a variety of locations across UK.
We've also hosted a meetup in New York, and we'd love to harness your energy to lead a meetup for LGBTI+ Sikhs in your part of the world and join our growing family.
We are also open to working in collaboration with different groups, communities and organisations to broaden our knowledge, support and allyship.
This is in line with one of the key principles of Sikhism,
with the literal meaning of Sikh, meaning to learn, as well as adhering to the principle of equality for all.
So if you want to find out a little bit more about us or maybe join one of our future events, you're more than welcome.
Visit sarbat.net
or find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching for Sarbat LGBT Sikhs.
I'm Punjabi lesbian Sikh and proud.
I'm a gay Sikh and proud.
I'm a queer Sikh and proud.
I'm a gay Sikh and proud.
I'm a queer Sikh and proud.
I'm a gay female Sikh and proud.
I'm a queer Sikh and proud. Happy Pride from Sarbat.
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 Happy Pride from Sarbat. Sat Sri Akal.
Hello, my name is Luke Dowding and I'm the Executive Director of OneBodyOneFaith. Since our founding in 1976 as the Lesbian and Gay Christian Movement, we have sought to enable LGBT+ Christians and advocate for change in the Christian church in the UK. Whilst there have been some tremendous leaps forward in terms of LGBT+ rights in the UK and in Christian churches, there remains a lot to be done. Many of us remain isolated and excluded from churches because of our sexuality or gender identity, and it is the mission of One Body, One Faith to challenge that and push for change. We're a membership organisation which is unique in the UK as we're the only membership organisation out there for LGBT+ Christians, and we seek to equip, enable and educate people through our resources in our online members section and through our campaigning online and in person. We'd love to hear from you and for you to engage with the work that we're doing, and you can do so by reaching out to us at hello@onebodyonefaith.org.uk. That's hello@onebodyonefaith.org.uk, or by getting in touch via social media just by searching at OneBodyOneFaith. That's the number 1 body, number 1 faith on both Instagram and Twitter, and we're on Facebook by searching One Body, One Faith as well.
Hello from KeshetUK, and thank you, Switchboard, for having us take part in these wonderful Pride events. We work to ensure a world where no one is ever forced to choose between their Jewish and LGBT+ identity. So we work with Jewish schools, youth and young adult organisations, synagogues and Jewish communal organisations to ensure that any Jewish LGBT+ person and our families can engage in any part of the community and have the experience that they're expecting to have. We are an education and training charity, and we work across the Jewish community. That'd be Orthodox, Reform, Liberal, Masorti, cross-communal. So if you are a Jewish LGBT+ person or an ally and you think that we can work or support any part of your community, please do get in touch. You can find out more at www.KeshetUK.org. Look forward to hearing from you and hope you have a wonderful Pride.
It was back in the summer of 1973 when a young Welsh gay Catholic living in London placed an advertisement in the personal column of Gay News, the fortnightly journal for gay readers. Will any Catholic interested in meeting to discuss the Church's attitude to homosexuality please write to P.O. Box.
In 1973, when this group was set up, the Roman Catholic Church's stance on this subject was perhaps even more hostile and unfriendly than it is at the moment. And yet people were being told, you've got to choose between your sexual orientation or your faith, but you can't have both. And what this group does is basically try and find a synthesis, a way of bringing people together to say, you do not have to choose between being a religious person and a follower of Jesus Christ, and also being an openly gay man or a lesbian or bisexual or a transgender person. And that's what we're about.
So on the 6th of November 1973, 9 of the 17 respondents to that ad assembled in London for the inaugural meeting of what the convener chose at the time to call the Catholic Gay Caucus. Not so long after, at a meeting held at St Mary's on Sunday the 11th of May, it was decided to change the name to Quest. And Quest grew, and as it did, we became a network of groups spread out across the UK.
I think it's been made a lot easier with Pope Francis as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of relaxed the atmosphere, so although the teaching hasn't changed, certainly the tone of how we're received has changed. Well, go on the Quest website. There are some local group information.
Put Quest and Catholic and LGBT into a search engine and you will find our website very easily.